everybody, how's it going? Chris here. Finally get to show you guys some comic books. Basically these are a bunch of pickups that were within a 4-week span. They're issues scattered here and there, and I got quite a few back issues that I got to try to get, but when we went into the city on the 30th, picked up the PlayStation and stopped by a couple comic book shops and picked up some issues that they had there. And my money was limited, so I could only get so many there. So let's just jump right into it because it's quite a stack, and yeah, we'll just go from there. Give you some quick thoughts. First up, a couple issues that I can't read because I don't have the previous issues as well. So I want to wait to get the full impact of the stories. So FF issue number 9. Don't have issue number 8. This is Hulk number 41 versus the Omega X that was sent by Uatu the Watcher, and the Watcher's been brewing ever since Ross punched him way back in issue number 5 or 6, somewhere there. So got to get issue number 4 before I can read that. The Wolverine issue number 16. Really want to get issue number 15 because that's, you know, right after Wolverine supposedly killed all these 5 illegitimate children of his. Kind of want to see the impact. It was kind of a goofy thing a little bit, but I really want to get the full impact of the story and just read, you know, in the correct order. So, yeah. Okay, jumping right into it, let's show you these two. Witchblade 148, guest starring Angelus and versus the Time-It. I think that's how you say it. And this lady possessed by the, you know, the mind, or possessed by this Time-It character. Yeah, that's about it. Just an old character that's come back and was old enemies of Witchblade and Angelus. So, and way back then, the old Witchblade and Angelus were lovers. So that was kind of weird in here, but but yeah, it was good. Witchblade has been pretty good, especially with Cedric's artwork. Beautiful stuff. The one that was I was even more excited to read was Artifacts issue number 10. Great cover by Cedric as well here. Great writing, and basically the whole story is the bad guy who has been there ever since the beginning, the very first Witchblade comic book. That person has become the big bad guy and basically trying to bring all 13 artifacts together, bring all the 13 artifacts together, basically all this world-ending kind of crap, right? So they're trying to prevent that. So really neat, and you know, things are involving Jackie and Sarah's daughter as well. But beautiful wraparound cover. I love this. Definitely the best cover, probably out of the whole stack, I think. Just really neat. Of course, everybody knows what that looks like, but that's like the Last Supper. Should probably frame that and hang it up behind your dinner table. I think that's kind of cool. I'm probably going to try to find a picture of the Last Supper. I don't have one. I think my mom has one, or the internet. But I just want to compare Cedric's artwork to the Last Supper and just see how well placed the characters are exactly to the original, the real Last Supper. But yeah, really good comic book, really good artwork. Alpha Flight, yeah, within the, you know, Fear Itself event right after they have taken out Atuma. This is issue 4 of 8, by the way. Oh no, the North Star, he's on the lookout for his gay lover who's been abducted by the, was it the Unity Party or whatever that's now in leadership, and they're taking a bunch of people to a camp who are going against them. There's a few other little things with the Vindicator. Of course, she's the bad guy sorts. She's going with the Unity Party, and of course, because of her child, she wants her child back, and she's doing anything that she can to get her child back. So at the end there, like in previous issues, North Star's boyfriend there was hurt, so at the end here, basically the bad guys have helped him out, healed him up, and so I predict in issues to come here that the boyfriend is going to be thankful of them for helping him out and healing him, and there's probably going to be a little I don't know, a little slap fest between North Star and his boyfriend. That's what I'm predicting. So, Fear Itself, Uncanny X-Force issue number 3 of 3. Pretty good artwork, darn good artwork. It's a neat story, but I think really didn't feel like a Fear Itself story when it's mentioned. Fear Itself and the Asgardian event that's happening is mentioned, but really didn't need to be something that was connected. And basically, Purifier Leader, he's blaming all this kind of stuff that's happening on, of course, mutants and all this kind of stuff, and basically calls for mass suicide. And he also has a brain bomb that he wants to explode and kill a bunch of people, so that they don't have to go through the hell that is going to be, you know, upon them if they didn't kill themselves even. Of course, all because of mutants, blah blah blah. But yeah, really kind of neat at the end too, where Wolverine takes off the guy's head at the end. That was pretty cool. But as far as the Fear Itself tie-in, don't need it all. Doesn't have any implications on that or consequences to the event. So I wouldn't even bother picking it up. I wish I didn't, to save some money. But already had 1 and 2. I had to get issue number 3. One that I really liked, that was really good and has consequences, and I think a really good part of the Fear Itself event is Uncanny X-Men 543. Of course, you can see by the cover, Colossus becoming the Juggernaut. Really awesome fight, I think, between Juggernaut and Colossus. Really neat, him getting the powers. Unfortunately, him doing what he did to get the Juggernaut's powers, and him basically always throwing himself in the line of fire and always willing to die for the cause, breaks up Kitty Pryde and Colossus, and she's wanting somebody who is willing to live for the cause and live for her, and not always trying to die for the cause. So that was really kind of cool and just really amazing. I look forward to reading what happens to Colossus and just the feelings that he's got now, and he's kind of liking the power of the Juggernaut. It seems in this one, so really cool issue. I think I was really happy with that one. Really good book, Fear Itself, issue number 6. I'm loving the event. It's a really great event. Nice picture of Steve with the broken shield. Steve, I think it's Steve, Immonen on the art. Beautiful art in here as well. It's great to see Roger smack talk Odin a little bit, and then you get to see Thor healed up. He gets a bit of an upgrade from Odin. What else is there? And then everybody's basically preparing for the last battle or confrontation with the Serpent King, and you get to see finally revealing these weapons that were made in Svartalheim by Tony Stark and the other Asgardians there. It's these enchanted weapons, with Stark Tech and Asgardian, enchantments and on them and whatnot. It was really, really cool to see that, and can't wait to see them actually being used. And there are weapons specifically for different Avengers, so that's going to be really cool, actually really neat. And seeing Tony Stark's armor getting blessed as well by Odin, and that's going to be really cool. It's really cool. But yeah, really happy with the book. Captain America, issue number 3. I like Steve. I mean, I was kind of jumping on Captain America. I had a few issues here and there before, but really jumped on with the death of Captain America, and then reading all the Bucky stuff, Cap being back. Just everything that I've been reading, I've been loving Steve even more and more. It's been really, really great. So it's nice to see him back in the old costume, but I still do really like the Commander Rogers look. And so yeah, I'm going to continue reading this one. Him in this one fighting a giant, Ameridroid, a giant android of himself. And I'm probably going to be dropping Secret Avengers. I was really on board for that comic, basically just because of Steve. So I want to kind of streamline my collecting as well too, and I just really, like I say, I'm there for Steve, so I want to drop Secret Avengers and just read straight Captain America from here. And last issue with the Point one was a good place to cut the ties on that one, because it was a standalone issue and they're going to be moving on to other stuff. So okay, so the next one here, X-Men issue number 4, 5 of Schism. Pretty good event too. I'm really liking this one, and it's going to be neat when the titles finally have that division, and there's going to be Wolverine and the X-Men, and then I believe it's Uncanny X-Men will be relaunched. I'm definitely going to be there for Wolverine and X-Men. But in this comic book, basically, a Sentinel that they can't stop is just come straight for Utopia to destroy it, and Scott wants to prepare the children for war against the Sentinel, and Wolverine doesn't like that very much. He's always been very protective of children, but I mean, he can be very brutal and kill and do all these kind of things. But in here he says to Scott, you've gotten me to do this and this for you, but somewhere along the lines, our objectives and our thoughts have become a little, messed up and not as we had first envisioned. So he basically tells him, you're not sending these kids to war. Everybody's got to get out of here, get off Utopia. You don't have to care about it. We have to care about these children. So anyway, so they get out at each other's throats, and all the meanwhile, this Sentinel is still coming at them. So it's going to be really cool to finally see issue number 5 and how that all turns out. Pretty good event as well for X-Men. Daken, Dark Wolverine, issue number 14, Moon Knight versus Daken. Basically, Moon Knight just really messing up Daken in his head, and the heat pills are messing him up too, so bad. Man, oh man, this one, he is just taken down a notch so bad. And I know, Scott, I think you dropped the comic book because of the way Daken is, and his certain actions, just you don't like him, of course, and I don't like him either. And just keep in mind that all those actions that he does, to me, when I read those comic books, very much so, I mean, if you're looking at the art, some of the dialogue here into, but his actions are very much villainized, I think, and it's never, seen in a good way, I don't think, anyways. So in this one, you don't like all that kind of stuff that he's done before. This one, he really gets taken down a notch and just really drawn in one scene a very embarrassing moment, I guess, and just beaten down. He's just a crumpled pile of mess. So if you really want to see him at his lowest and kind of, in a way, getting back at him for all those things wrong that he's done in the past, I think this is a pretty good issue. I think I really liked that point where, I like Wolverine's son in a sense. Like I want to know what's happening with Wolverine, but I mean Wolverine's son is quite the douchebag. But he's a very, very neat villain to read about, I think. So that's why I keep going on with it. Yeah, it's neat. I mean, it's the only comic book that I read about a villain, so yeah, it's pretty good stuff. Okay, talk about these ones together. They're all part of the same thing. And Amazing Spider-Man, we got 669, 670, and Venom number 7. I'll start with Venom number 7. So, part of Spider Island, I've been looking forward to this for quite a while. The meeting of Eddie Brock and Flash, so the anti-Venom and his, Eddie Brock's old suit. But anyways, the emotional torment and what happens between them was really good. I think it was done well. Things that I kind of expected. It was just done really well, really cool. But basically, the symbiotes are going to be playing a big part in this Spider Island thing, and supposedly quite a bit Eddie Brock, him being the cure for this spider disease or this spider flu, and yeah, he's basically in a church and saying he's curing people of this disease, and he's the right hand of God. And Venom goes there to try to retrieve him, and but he has this fight with him without even, so they want Eddie Brock to do good, and he is, but Venom goes there and just starts fighting with him basically, and takes him back to the facility to help out. And when he gets there, and Venom's like, well, you didn't even tell me, or Eddie Brock, didn't even tell me without, what you even wanted me for, just started fighting me and brought me here. Of course I'm going to help, basically. He says, is kind of a weird way to go about things. Yeah. So that was really good. And 669 here, that was really kind of cool with, what's his name there? The Shocker, having spider powers, and he robs a bank, and Spider-Man comes to stop him, but the Shocker is really disappointed in having these powers. He didn't want them. He doesn't like Spider-Man, doesn't like being mutated like he is. So he wants to steal all this money because I think he said the Tinkerer would help him if he got enough money to help him, of course. So that was kind of really neat. And 670, definitely the one that's a little more memorable. Of course, J. Jonah Jameson getting spider powers. He goes to Smythe, who was basically the cause of his wife Marla's death, and tries asking him for help because knowing all about genetics and all this bug stuff. So tries to get him to help, but in the meantime, throughout the book, J. Jonah Jameson is developing his spider powers, and so when he's talking to Smythe, which is not being very helpful, he starts mutating a little bit, and that definitely scares Smythe. And then he's a little more willing to help out before he can really give any helpful information. J. Jonah was saying he's mutated too much, and with the thoughts in the back of his head about of Marla and some of the things that she said in the past, J. Jonah Jameson ends up chomping down on Smythe. So that was a really cool scene. So, but overall, great artwork and Amazing Spider-Man, Spider Island. It's been a really great event, a lot of fun. I mean, you got this. It's a very big, huge, dramatic event, but you got a lot of funnies in it, and just a really neat development. And also, the take on a spider flu. And I like how a lot of Marvel comics will take real world events and twist them in a way to fit into the comic books and kind of making a statement about real world events. And that being that this whole thing started with bed bugs, where the Jackal, he genetically modified bed bugs to pass along the spider flu. And in New York and America especially, and a lot of places in Canada too, but there's been a lot of bed bug infestations. So I think that's kind of really neat, taking that real world happening and twisting it in a way, and getting this event out of it. I think that was really kind of neat. So yeah, just really cool stuff. There's actually 3 more comic books I want to show you guys, but I'm going to do that in another video. I want to deal with those 3 comic books separate. So that's about that, you guys. I will see you later. Bye.